I believe in continuous education, and I from what you have told me, you are definitely into it. Okay, training, coaching, seminars, and all that. Okay, and I believe it's crucial for Africa's development. Now, as somebody who is into it, do you believe that as a continent, we have done well in promoting continuous education on the continent? Do you think we are investing enough in it?
Thank you so much. I think when it comes to education, we see education as only the formal school.
Yeah.
Which is one way or the other, a system made to keep our minds from thinking. So true education is after gaining the knowledge,
yeah,
the application of that knowledge to solve the problems of the society is education.
Yeah, I agree.
And that is wisdom in the Bible.
Okay.
So when we talk about wisdom, wisdom is not about having a gray hair. Wisdom is not about reading books.
Okay.
Wisdom is about the knowledge you have acquired, the skills you have acquired. Do you transform it to solve the problems of your society? But what do we see today? We have people who go through university system, and once they come out, they are looking for solutions. They are never solution makers, or they are never solution providers. That is the education system we have had in Africa. And that is even across almost every university system. Let me ask a question. I've been in the university system, but how do you confirm a professor of or doctorate of entrepreneurship on a professor who has no business? So the question is that how do you teach entrepreneurship without having a business? And this is what we respect as education. That is, go to school, get a first degree. After first degree, get a master's degree. After master's degree, get a PhD, and that is it. And they even made it being brainwashed in such a way that if you have the best of education, then you have to leave the shores of Nigeria, Ghana, Africa to Europe, because that's where they give the best of education. And you go get masters, you get PhD, and you are the best. But let me ask a question. What is the essence of education when the problems of our society cannot be solved by those education qualifications? So you have professors who speak jargons. We have people who have gone to school speak jargons. We have people who are engineers and they cannot fix a door. We have people who are engineers and they cannot work on a car. When their car spoil, a professor of engineer takes his car to a mechanic, a roadside mechanic, who has no school, who has no education. So let me ask a question. What is real education?
Yeah.
So until we redefine education, we might think that schooling is education, but schooling is not education.
Yeah.
So what Africa is doing is we are schooling.
Yeah.
We are not being educated.
Now, just to say this, the same issue that you have just identified, okay, is also prominent in the West. Okay. It's very prominent because there are so many degrees people get now that are not valuable. There are so many degrees that people get now that are not valuable. Now, compared to Africa, people who study engineering, okay, in the UK, for example, they know how to do some things. Now, they may not be adept with their hands, okay, but they know how to design solutions, okay, that the technicians can now implement. Okay, so yeah, we have the similar issues. Yeah.
So basically, when we talk about education in general, to me, it's about acquisition of knowledge, skills to solve the problems of
society,
your community,
yeah,
your country, your continent, and the world at large.
Yes.
Now, in solving these problems with what you have as knowledge, as skill, by 10, you transform the society. Now, for instance, you can imagine people go to test schools. All right. I know a computer science graduate who cannot operate a computer. Yes. So the question is, if we want to talk about real education, let's focus on skill. Skill acquisition based off schooling. If you are an engineer, focus on engineering. Get practical engineering skills.
Yeah.
If you are maybe an agriculture extension officer, you don't have a business in the bank. But guess what is happening? Somebody studies agriculture. Instead of him to get into the farm and see solutions of producing new crops and then bringing in new hybrid of crops and all that from already existing ones, the person earns the bank. So yeah, we have to change our education system.
Okay.
I was watching a video yesterday. Young men and women in China are in the factories producing phones. But here, our young men are in the schools praying. Yes, because we have been brainwashed. My father was a pastor. I've been to Bible school. I'm a man of God. I've even seen the dead come back to life by God's grace. So I know what God does. But you see, God did not do certain things, even in the Bible. As Africans, we have to learn this. When the temple of Israel, the first temple, needed to be built, God told Moses, I have put in 2 young men the spirit of skill and wisdom to craft, to do things. And when the whole Israel brought the gold, they brought it to these young men and they fabricated a lot of the vessels and all that for the temple from that. God did not just come down. He said, I'll put in them. So every person on earth, there's something God put in him, what is called talent. Going to school is just to help you sharpen your talent. But that is not what will make you live a fulfilled life. What is your talent? What has God given you? My talent, I love teaching. It's my passion. So whatever I have, knowledge I have, I feel like I should pass it on every day. That's my passion. You wake me up at any point in time, I can teach without necessarily bothering myself. It's part of me.
Yeah.
What has refined this is education. That's schooling.
Yeah.
So you don't go to school to throw away what God put in you as your potential. So somebody knows how to sing and goes to school and become a banker. And is not happy she's a banker. Meanwhile, she has a talent as a singer. So it's about mindset. Some people believe that until you go to school, you work in a particular industry, you can never become rich. But to tell you the truth, sir, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
The gospel musicians we have in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And the musicians across the globe, as well as secular musicians. Sinach being a gospel musician, Davido, and all that. Are these guys not university graduates?
Well, I would tell you the truth. In the last 10 plus years, I haven't been following musicians globally. Okay, so I don't know them. I don't know their songs. Okay, I'm old school. Okay, I listen to my 80s and 60s music. Okay, 60s. but yeah. I understand what you're saying. Okay,
they are earning a living from their talent and skills.
Yes.
They are earning a living from their talent and skills.